Hey guys, welcome back to the Coon Hub. It doesn't matter how little of a break a man gets from a system rigged against him. It's gonna be enough to make the ladies with red hair break down in tears. Johnny Depp is just one of thousands of men who would actually do something about false allegations made against them, in fear that they will lose anyway and the women will be allowed to carry on with their lives as if nothing happened. Gynocentric women are losing their minds over this, saying that it sets a bad precedent, in which I agree. This is not good for actual victims, but women like Amber Heard doesn't care about those real victims now, do they? But this is also true. If you can prove your case, you wouldn't have to worry about being believed. Now the question I have is, what about male victims? Johnny proved that men can also be victims, and fembots are absolutely terrified of that reality being recognized worldwide. Both men and women are standing up for Johnny. Following are a few clips I found of women getting on her case. Remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons. It helps out a lot. Now let's get into it.
Have you ever seen so many men so interested in a domestic violence case before? No, you haven't. Have you ever seen so many memes made by men talking about, look at this cool shit Johnny did in court? This is bad. This is going to be bad for us. When men get excited about a domestic violence case, don't be excited. Because that means I always am very wary, no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what the fuck spin it against women, and especially something like this, oh my god, it's gonna be so bad. Like, there's so many memes.
When a man gets put away for DAB, what is it that these women do? They rejoice. Why can't we get the same satisfaction from a liar being put behind bars? They love to talk about equality. Well, this is the kind of bullcrap that started this space.
About this. And it's because it will set a precedent. And it will shift the paradigm a little bit in how things are talked about. And I don't think it will be for the better.
The way things are talked about? You mean balanced? You're mad at the fact that women can be perpetrators?
Both Johnny Depp's neighbor and the building manager for the apartment where he and Amber lived in testified to seeing Amber's sister throw a fake punch at her, and then they both started laughing like it was a joke. Victims of domestic violence don't think their abuse is funny.
Does anyone else feel like they have literally totally fallen for Johnny Depp and just want to drink mega pints of red wine with him and hang out in his basement and listen to guys playing guitars? 'Cause I do. He's so funny. He's so sweet. She messed up. I hope he wins.
Moods you can hear. So when you can hear.
Did you see this shapeshifter move?
Oh my god, look at how quickly her face changed. This is what you call acting, okay? If you didn't think she was a great actress before, I'm with you, because I just don't get the hype personally. I think her face took her very far, and that's just me keeping it very real with you. If it wasn't for Johnny Depp, I wouldn't know who this woman is. She's here, and she keeps switching her faces, and they say Gemini's a two-faced. What's that sound of you?
A lot of that anger is expressed in this code type, a lot of cruelty, usually with people who are less powerful. The 3-6 code type is very concerned with their image, very attention-seeking, very prone to externalizing blame. It's unclear whether they can even admit to themselves that they do have responsibility. A lot of suppressed and denied anger will explode out, and a lot of issues in their close relationships. Borderline personality disorder is a disorder of stability. It's instability in personal relationships, in their emotions, in their behavior, in their sense of self, and their identity. That instability is really driven by this underlying terror of abandonment. When somebody is afraid of being abandoned, they'll make desperate attempts to prevent that from happening. Could be physical aggression, threatening, harming themselves, behaviors that are usually very extreme and very concerning. The explosive anger that they show when somebody is needing space, or when somebody's really not doing anything wrong. They read into things that they perceive as being a slight to them. They'll exaggerate it, and they'll explode. They'll react in this heightened manner that is just exhausting for their partners.
Have you ever seen so many men so interested in a domestic violence case before?
And you wonder why men never talk about being victims, because they are either not going to be believed or they're going to be shamed. Because look at this. They're being shamed for just being interested in a case in which a man is potentially the victim. And by the way, how is a man fighting for his individual justice bad for women? Because you're afraid of that idea being out there, that a man could be a victim of a woman? Well, let's be clear, it is. But then there's toxic content and supporters of this type of content. And 2 years down the line, you're going to be turning to your husband, your boyfriend, and frustrated that they keep it all in. And you wonder why.
I don't know if any of you guys are watching the Johnny Depp court case. I'm not, but I am watching clips. I would hate to be the cross-examinator against Johnny. I have been in court. I've been cross-examined. I stutter. I get flustered. He's a tough cookie to crack. Like, no wonder they're like fumbling. They come to him with a question and he has such a way of dealing with the question. I feel sorry for Amber Heard's team, honestly.
During the Johnny Depp trial today, a psychologist diagnosed Amber Heard with 2 personality disorders. The second witness of the day was Dr. Shannon Curry, a forensic psychologist. She started off her testimony by outlining her extensive list of credentials, including working with veterans with PTSD, and she was asked to do a psychological evaluation of Amber Heard. Dr. Curry spent 12 hours with Amber, doing a series of tests and evaluations, as well as reviewing previous case records, medical records, and psychological treatment that Amber had had in the past. And she diagnosed Amber with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. She clarified that these aren't facts, but that her scores were consistent with other people who have been shown through many studies to have these specific traits.
Oftentimes their partners will try to make them happy at first and really allow themselves to be a punching bag, thinking that somehow they can make this better, and eventually it just overwhelms them. Emotional reactivity is very common. People with borderline personality disorder are often misdiagnosed as having bipolar disorder because they can be up and down. They can look very depressed and they can look very elated, but these changes are happening within a matter of hours. With borderline personality disorder, you're having these fluctuating moods constantly, and again, this hypersensitivity to being slighted, that they just know that they have this overwhelming emotion and there are no attempts to control that emotion. They'll make a lot of accusations, and that reactivity is when you're gonna see a lot of this escalation in the bizarre behavior. They can react violently, they can react aggressively, they will often physically prevent their partner from trying to leave if their partner wants to get space from all of this intense emotion, and oftentimes they will be abusive to their partners. Sometimes they'll physically restrain them from leaving and become injured that way. People with borderline personality disorder, it seems to be a predictive factor for women who implement violence against their partner. They'll make threats using legal systems. They might say that they are going to file a restraining order or claim abuse, or they might do these things to essentially try to keep their partner from leaving. In the moment, again, they're not consciously thinking, I'm going to keep my partner from leaving right now. They're just thinking, I can't stand this. I hate my partner. They went from idealizing to suddenly devaluing because of the hurt, and they'll do anything to express that big emotion of anger.
This is turning out to be a bad case of self-sabotage for the Me Too movement. Do they have any more cards up their sleeve? Or are they going to admit that they're hypocrites and finally implement true equality? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, be well.